This week, we've been talking about the blueprints that you need to run your business. There's an internal blueprint that begins with your self-concept. In order to be successful in your business, there needs to be an internal blueprint that helps you align with your most successful self. Yesterday, I talked about that blueprint in terms of money. And today, we're going to actually be talking about that blueprint in terms of your content. So, your content needs healing before it needs a strategy. Before you post more, show up more, or switch platforms. Do you do TikTok or YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever? Okay, all the options. Alignable. I keep getting all these messages from people who are like, hey, we're on Alignable. And I'm going, look, I'm on Facebook right now, y'all. Before you make those choices, though, to make a decision to change or to start something new, your content must be honestly examined. Where is it coming from energetically? Who is it speaking to? And is it even saying something that is really true about you and about what you offer? Or is your content playing it safe? Is it being broad, generally accepted? And is it really what you believe in? So I feel like your healed content, comes from a place that is beyond your wounding. It's beyond even your own experience. Yes, your own experience is important, but if your own experience isn't speaking to some kind of a truth that is relatable to the people that you want to serve, then it's not really doing them any good. Therefore, it's not doing you any good. We want your content to come from a place where there is, I want to say, vibrancy, passion, aliveness. We want it to be directed at your specific target client, but also rooted in your philosophy. But you also need to put it in the language that your ideal client understands, not just your own language. Okay, I'm going to admit that I'm a culprit of this. I tend to write in my own language and use my own language, and I don't adapt my writing to my client, although I do make sure that her terms are included in my writing. But for the most part, I write from my own mind. And sometimes I look back at my writing and I'm like, that is convoluted. That is a convoluted mess that you've created there. But people read it, and I'm so grateful that people actually read it. So thank you if you read, and thank you if you're watching this live stream. Thank you. But my point is that your content is an extension of you, and it is so easy to make that content for other people. You write for your audience. And I want you to consider that we want to make sure that there's a balance. You want your audience to be able to relate, but we also want your audience to be able to understand you. Your content needs to be created honestly. One piece of healed content is so much better than 100 pieces of fake content, ChatGPT content, broad, vague content. performative content. Welcome to the Spiritual Business Hour with Crystal Lynn Bell. I'm Crystal Lynn, and I am here on this show every day at 2:00 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and I am happy to be sharing my content with you. Thank you so much for those of you who have been, the show is now, we must be at our 60th episode or something like that. We're darn close. And boy, this has been so fun, so exciting, and I am really happy to be doing this, and I'm happy for those of you who are attending. Now, I am a spiritual business mentor, and I help women coaches convert their wisdom into revenue. And that means that you have gone through some things in your life, you've learned a lot, and I help you monetize that. I help you bring that wisdom, your experience from out of your head, out of your body, out of your central nervous system. We help you get it out of your mind and into the world in the form of a business that actually pays you. If you're already in your business, I diagnose where your business is failing, and together we start to build the sustainable systems that bring you paying clients on a regular basis every month. Every month you need new clients coming into your business. Yes, you do. Every single month. You need that, my friend. That's what a business is. That's what a business does. I help you set that up. Now, if you are someone who's in my space, like where you're doing the same kind of work and you're watching this show, I'd appreciate an introduction to a woman coach who is doing everything herself, but she's overwhelmed with what it takes to run a coaching business. All right. So that's who I help. That's who I am. And so thank you again for watching and welcome to the show. We are today, it's Tuesday. So on Tuesdays, it's Heal Yourself. I like to look at what in us needs to be healed. I like to put a healing spin on our business because I did not come into my business to heal myself. No, I did not. I came into my business first and foremost to be of service to people, to help them thrive. Okay, that's why I came into business. I also came into business to earn money so that I could support myself. I did not come into business so that I could heal myself. Did you? If you are someone who came into business because you knew that it was going to be a deeply healing experience, I want you to drop me a note in the comments so that I can call you out and say, you are lying right now. You did not. That is not why you came into this business. Your soul brought you into this business for that, so that you could grow. Your soul knew that. But on a conscious level, did you literally say, I want to be a coach so that I can really go into the deepest, darkest parts of myself and confront all my fears and overcome them so that I could become a millionaires? All right. So Tuesdays is the day when we work on healing. And today we're working on healing your content. So the deep issue is that, and this is my experience. This is not just what I'm seeing in my mind. This is not just my experience. This is the experience I've had 9 times out of 10 when I'm working with coaches who are needing my help. The deep issue is that they don't actually know who they're talking to when they're creating content. They're either super vague and they're talking to everyone in general, right? Covering topics that are broad, that are, using language that is general, like they're talking about being aligned. And I have this, you have an issue in your central nervous system, but they're not calling out what those issues are. So they're doing things that are broad so that they can try to include as many people as possible. The thing is, the person who needs you the most is scrolling past your content. And it's not that it's bad. Well, it's kind of bad. I feel when I see broad, generic content, I have a feeling in myself that that is not good content. I'm I'm saying it's bad content. So it doesn't feel like it was written for me. It doesn't feel like it was written for anyone. It feels like it's just generic. Like you just went from ChatGPT directly to your Facebook feed and you stopped right there. You didn't even try to bring in your own essence and breathe life into it. And that's too bad. So what I want to give you is a 5-point content healing process. Okay, I'm just making this up based on what I've experienced. So, step number one, or point number one, is that you want to really heal the energy from which you are creating. So, before you write anything, I want you to check in with where you are. Are you creating because you have something important to say? Or is it just you need to post something and so you're just getting something out there? You're just letting it be. You don't, there's nothing behind it. Are you creating out of curiosity? Are you creating because you have a strong conviction? Do you just have a desire to serve? That can be really exciting. If you just want to be helpful and you create something that is serving and it's coming from your heart, that is powerful. But if you just need to get something out and you're just going to go to I keep saying Chat GPT. Chat GPT has kind of become synonymous with chatbot or AI chatbot. That's not really fair to ChatGPT because you can really get good quality content from ChatGPT. But let's face it, and you've seen it, and you might be one of those people who just let ChatGPT create your content and you thought it was okay. There's no real judgment here because I'm not trying to condemn you to hell. But you do need to know that cheap is cheap. And doing things cheaply is not going to get you high quality clients. So don't do it. Don't make that decision to treat your audience like they're stupid, like we're stupid. Like you're going to put some low quality crap out there. And what you think we're going to buy that low quality generic crap? Don't do that. The thing is, you may not know how to create content, but you can learn that. You can learn that. You don't have to put out low grade, like bad quality content just because you don't know where to go or you don't know what to do. The solution is to learn it. Ask somebody. Hey, Crystal Lynn, how do you get such amazing posts? Crystal Lynn, how do you create such amazing images? Crystal Lynn, how do you make great storytelling? How do you do that? Ask. Don't just be like, oh, chat, I'm going to come over here and create something and then just put it out there. Don't do that to yourself. So start the healing process within yourself, right? Sit down with your topic, whatever you want to talk about, and feel it. if you let ChatGPT write it for you, I'm okay with that. But if you just let ChatGPT write it, then ChatGPT wrote it. And we're going to know that ChatGPT wrote it because ChatGPT has a voice. It does. It has a voice. That's how you can go through and know. And don't try to gaslight people when they call you out, or when you're working with a coach or a mentor, and your coach or mentor calls you out and says, this sounds like ChatGPT, and you say, oh no, I wrote that myself. Don't try to gaslight me. I am a writer. I've been writing since I was a kid. I've been writing. Don't gaslight me, okay? Instead, say, you know what? I don't know what to do with my content, so I use ChatGPT to write this. Then what I can do is start from a healthier place and say, okay, here's how you can do this. I can then work with you so that you can work with your chatbot. Again, I keep saying ChatGPT. You could be working with Gemini, you could be working with Claude, you could be working with all the other things. Okay, it doesn't matter. My point is, the healing process for step one begins in looking at yourself, understanding where you might have limitations, and understanding where you don't have limitations. You might have limitations with your time around writing and creating content. You might have limitations around your ability to write beautifully, to express yourself. That's a real thing. You should not be punished as a coach because you cannot write. However, if you won't do anything about your writing and you won't learn a method that will help you bring out your ideas in a coherent, beautifully readable manner, then you're going to feel those results in your bank account. It is not a punishment. It's that you will not, your followers will not reward you for your writing and expressing your authentic ideas, because you're not really giving them a chance to, because you're not doing the right kind of work around content creation. So, step one is to get to the source and to create from who you are. Yes, use AI, but start with yourself first. A great tip is to write it out yourself as badly as it comes out. A free-flowing thought, like full thing. Write it all out. Get all your ideas out. Don't write it. Do not use a pen. Do not. Why? Because what you're going to do is type it, okay? Type it with all your misspellings and your bad grammar, but get the idea out fully, okay? Fully. Think it through. Be a philosopher. You're a philosopher. If you're a coach, you better be a philosopher. If you're not philosophizing as a coach, then you are taking somebody else's ideas and trying to pawn them off on the marketplace as if they are your own. Don't do that. You have thoughts, you have ideas. You've just not taken the time to put them out and to put them on paper. Now is the time. Use a Facebook post as an opportunity to get a nugget of your wisdom out there, a nugget of your philosophy out there. If you do this every day, you start to build momentum. Your ideas begin to build momentum. You start to create these incredible philosophies. You become a thought leader, and then you coach from that. Okay, number two. The next thing to heal is to heal your audience, right? You're speaking to an audience and you need to bring your healing there. So if you're speaking to everyone when you're creating your content, you're speaking to no one. You've heard this before. I'm repeating it. I don't like cliches. You have not heard me say one cliche in this video and probably never. Okay. But I'm going to say this. If you are speaking to everyone, you are speaking to no one. All right. So get specific. Get specific about that one woman. Okay. The one man, the one woman, whoever your ideal client is. Don't talk to their demographic profile. Okay. Don't talk to women. Don't talk to the broad. Talk to the one. And when you create anything, write it directly to that person. Use their language, use their concerns, use their specific daily reality. I just wrote my ideal client today. I wrote her because what she did was filled out one of my surveys. I found her out of the 100 people who filled out my survey. I found hers and I studied her thing. And then what did I do? I went and built a whole retreat based on her desires, the things she said. And then I forgot to invite her to the retreat. So, so today I actually sent her a message and I'm like, hey, I wrote this, I've created this retreat, and you were at the center of it. You're at the center. I'd love for you to join, right? So you want to use their reality. When you are writing to that one specific person and you're writing so detailed about their experience, that person sees themselves, okay? And then everyone who can relate to that, they see themselves. You become specific. And I know that this is terrifying for people. I just was talking to someone yesterday, and she was like, it's terrifying to make a decision about this, because then she felt like she can't back out. I get that. You cannot back out. And the thing is, it's going to feel scary. Feels scary because if you can't back out, what if it's wrong, right? What if you made the wrong decision about your niche? What if you get bored with it? What if it doesn't earn you any money? The thing that I want you to understand is that does not exist. That is not actually a reality. A lot of times people say, well, I chose the wrong niche and this happened to me. This is the experience I got. It wasn't a good experience. They're blaming the wrong thing. The thing that actually, and I'm thinking about one person in particular, I'm not going to call her out, but this was one of my students. And when she first came to me, she'd been doing all of this work and, she had all the things I said, do you have your ideal client? She says, yeah, I've got the ideal client. Do you have your offer? Yes, I've got the offer. Well, it turns out none of those things were actually deep enough. They were all very, very broad, very, very general, and very, very vague. So she was blaming the wrong thing. The problem was her vagueness. The problem was not the direction she was going in. The problem was not the choice. It's just she didn't go all in on that choice. And the price that she paid was that things were broad. But then once we got her specific, she could then even herself see the value. She went from charging $750 for her program, for her 3-month program, no less, $750 for her 3-month program. She went to charging $3,500 for her program and getting it. The difference was that she got specific, and then she could then see the value, which made it easy for her to raise the price because she was not pricing something broad, general, and vague. This is really important. This stuff all works together. You can't just start with a strategy on the outside. You have to start on the inside. All right, so what we're going to heal, the third thing we're going to heal, or the third healing point, is to heal the philosophy behind the content. So a lot of coaches are creating content around topics rather than from a point of view. All right, there's a big difference. A topic is something that anybody can write about. A point of view is something that only you can express. All right. If it's your point of view, it's related in your beliefs, in your experience, in your self concept, in your specific way of seeing the world. Nobody can touch that. All right. This is why I always say there is no competition. It's because nobody has done this before. You've done that, and those things might be similar, but they are not this. And this is unique. Okay. Your this is unique and it is valuable, but you got to get it out of your head and out of your experience and out of your body. And you have to get it into your business. That can be your posts. It can be your lead magnets. It can be a book. It can be a video. It can be a live stream. One of the reasons why I do 5 live streams a week is because I have a lot to say. In case you haven't noticed, the girl has a lot to say. I'm a philosopher. I love thinking. All right. My business is my place to channel all my love. I love it. Okay. Your philosophy is your thoughts, your beliefs, your ideas. It's what brings you to this work, and it needs to have a form. Okay. This is something that I teach, but you do need to be able to get it out of your mind. And I understand that it's hard to do, right? You don't know where to begin. Where does your philosophy begin? But I'll tell you this. Here's the number one hint. Your philosophy begins with writing. You pick up a pen, you pick up some paper, okay, and you write. That's where your philosophy begins. You don't have to start writing it perfectly. You just start writing. All right. Now, your point of view is a position. It is something that is specific. All right. My point of view is that humans can accomplish anything. Sorry, I'm over here hiccuping. I hope the hiccups don't keep going because that's going to be hard. I've got an empty glass of water here. And yeah, I hope the hiccups don't keep going. So, oh my God, hiccups. Whew. Oh God. Who said that going live every day is a good idea? Who said that? All right, here we go. So we want you to have a point of view. We want it to be something that is so specific that somebody can disagree with it. You actually want people to disagree with you. I know that it hurts. It hurts. It feels like criticism, but it's not, my friend. What it is visibility. If you are putting yourself out there and people are disagreeing with you, round of applause to you. You are visible. You are being seen. This is a good thing. This is where the healing begins. All right. So you're going to put yourself out there. You're going to express what you actually believe rather than what is acceptable. And here's how I want you to heal yourself. This is step 3. You've got to ask yourself, does this say what I actually want it to say? Or am I saying what is safe to say? I want you to work on this. Now, Crystal Lynn's going to come clean right here, and she's going to disclose that this makes me nervous. All right. Look, I have been told that I am aggressive so many times. I've been told that I'm direct so many times. I've been told that I'm bossy so many times. And I am all those things. Although I do not think I'm aggressive, I think I'm assertive. I think that people who think I'm aggressive happen to be passive and they don't understand what assertion looks like. So for them, I might be aggressive, and that's fine. Passive people should stay away from me because I do not like passive people. I don't. I don't like working with you. I don't like your passive aggressive behavior. I don't like it. Okay. So no, I'm not going to be a good friend for you. I'm not going to be a good mentor for you. I'm not going to be a good coach for you. I am assertive. I am direct. I have a system. I believe in getting things done. My job is to get things done for people so that they can actually be in their artistic, creative nature. Okay. So if you can respect the fact that I am someone who is here to get things done for you and with you, okay, then you can move forward in our relationship. All right. Going back to my point is that my weakness was being accepted. I wanted to be accepted. I wanted people to accept me. And so I dumbed down my message. I softened my message. And now, here on the Spiritual Business Hour, you're witnessing me pulling out of that dumbing down, pulling out of that I must be nice. And you know what? I just signed up. I just signed up for this I was going to say it's a coaching program. It's not a coaching program, it's a networking group. And you know what? It's called Network Like the Rich. And I'm going to put my link. I've got a link because I want people to sign up and join me in this group. I'm going to put my link in there as an affiliate because I signed up to be an affiliate. The woman who runs that group says what's on her mind. She don't give a hoot what you think about her. But do you know what I've learned from her? So much clarity. I've learned a lot. And look, I just went vague there for a moment because I learned so much from her. I don't even have the words for it. And I've only been listening to her for like 2 days. My point is that clarity, directness, straightforwardness, those are my superpowers. Getting things done quickly, getting things done painlessly. Those are my superpowers. I'm honoring that. Let me get on to number 4. Number 4 is to heal the language that you're using. Now, if your content is written in your language rather than your ideal client's language, then you risk it not reaching her. I want you to be authentic, but I also need you to understand that you're going to need to incorporate your client's language into what you're creating. It cannot all be just about you and your thing. Okay. So your language is the language of your methodology, your training, your framework. And if you really are a strong philosopher like I am, and like some of my clients are really strong philosophers, okay, we can get into our language and create from that. And it's very, very technical, okay? But this is where we want to stay authentic, but we also want to be inclusive of our ideal clients, whether they're male or female. You want to include the language that your ideal client understands and uses in their daily experience. You want to be able to articulate their private frustrations, the way they describe their situations to themselves. Okay. You need to know what that is and you need to incorporate that. And then you need to expound on it. You can expound on it in your own language, in your own words, but you definitely want to be calling your people in by using their language. Okay, so using their language means using their terminology whenever it's possible. It means also going back and rereading your own content through the eyes of your ideal client and asking if they would recognize themselves in what you've created, or would she feel like something that's not her? Okay. So the content that converts is always going to be written in the reader's language, not in the writer's language. All right. That's a hard one. That was hard for me. And excuse me, it was hard for me because I consider myself to be a writer. And so writing in my natural way was good. And having to write for other people felt bad. But then I learned my own technique for how to include my ideal client in my writing, and then that became my style. So there's a very specific style that I've developed that brings my readers, my ideal clients' language into the work. It's pretty deliberate, and you probably could spot it, but it works. It works for me, and it gets the job done. All right, my last step, the last point in healing your content is about healing your relationship with the call to action. Woo! What is a call to action? A CTA. All right. Many coaches avoid the call to action entirely, or they overdo it. All right. So call to action is how you basically end a piece of writing or a video or whatever it is you're doing. And you don't want to sound, you don't want to sound pushy. You don't want to sound like you're asking. And I have to admit, there is an art to this. There is an art to it, man. You gotta like, you don't want to be always asking for something, like, every time I create a piece of content, it's like, do I have to put a call to action in every piece of content? No, but you do have to vary it, and understanding that a call to action is actually an extension of the writing or the thing that you've just done. A call to action is actually a gift. If your audience member, your reader, is in pain, the call to action is the next step that they need, and it's going to help them get out of pain. So by not having a call to action, you're basically just leaving somebody in pain. Okay. They read your article, you told them how to get out of pain, but you didn't tell them what to do with it, or you showed them how you got out of pain, but you didn't tell them what their next step should be. When I put it like that, it kind of seems like, yeah, Crystal Lynn, we need a call to action. But you do want to be graceful about your calls to action. Like, you don't want to always say, book a call with me, come and buy my stuff, come and buy my thing. No, mix it up. One call to action might be to leave a comment, let me know how you feel. Another call to action might be send me a DM. Another call to action might be drop a heart in the comments. Another call to action might be book a call with me. Another call to action might be come and take this masterclass or sign up for this thing. It can be those things, but keep in mind it can also just be the comment. Leave a comment, and that'll be a great call to action. All right, my friends, the Liberated Coach Retreat is happening on August 28th through the 30th. The price is $497. Okay, we are now in that point where it's $497. That's the final price. But if you sign up before Friday, which I do believe is the 21st, if you sign up before the end of day on Friday, you can have the retreat for just $197. That's all 3 days, all the workbooks, all the community, and you'll also have the replays. All right. So if you want that, just use the link, and I look forward to seeing you there. All right. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Bye for now, my friends. Mwah. Bye.